Oh man, it's on. Now I don't even know what time it is.
Hey, okay, so since we're waiting on Gwalla, and I already said we're gonna have to talk about a little something, we could talk about this. Let's talk about what happened to me in my inbox this morning. And I'm gonna look for this video so I can share it, or this good stuff that I had going on. Get it up on my screen. So this gentleman approaches me and calls me a nigger in my inbox. Nigga, nigga, nigga. Yeah, nigga, nigga, nigga. And I thought to myself, like, okay, and it was crazy. I don't know you. I don't know why you're talking to me. I mean, I have no idea who this dude is. So he says, all you niggas fuck everything up. And I'm like, why are you talking to me? He said, because you suck at life. So I had to have some fun with it. And I was like, so you wasted your time reaching out to me. I mean, do you feel better? I'm from South Carolina, so you gotta have to do better than calling me a nigga to ruffle my feathers. You know what I'm saying? But let me just let people know, because people like to talk about like they're patriots and talk about your country. I'm an Army veteran as well. So, you know, you going out here talking about you love your country. Did you put on the uniform? Or did you play the game from the couch? Because I joined after 9/11. And if you know me, Keith, I think you know, I tell people the reason I joined after 9/11 was, I don't know, do you know?
No, you never told me that.
Because I wanted to blow shit up. You understand? So
right.
You know, you love your country, and you know, you don't want me here, or I'm taken away from your country, but you're talking to the wrong chick. Because I did my time. You know what I'm saying? And you know.
So what was the cause for this individual reaching out to you? Was it something you said? Was it just a random?
I have no idea.
Random act of bullying? Is that what they call it now?
I don't know. But I just decided to bully him back. So I said, I sent him this picture. The KKK leaders started stabbing each other over an argument over who's the most racist, and then a picture of a gentleman with a
okay. That's all right. You're going a bit hard there.
I went hard. I said, "Is that your girlfriend?"
Oh, hey.
Couldn't help it, Keith. I couldn't help it. I had to do it. I'm sorry.
So what's the season for all this? Because you called us on here to discuss some of this stuff, and naturally you got some pretty heated stuff I see here. This LL Cool freestyle. This LL Cool J freestyle is crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw it, I was like, I guess in my inbox, I just saw this picture, and I don't know. Am I sharing the picture? Yeah, I'm sharing the picture. You can see the picture, right?
Yes.
And it just looked so like upsetting. So initially, I was like, no, I don't like it. And then you also know too, it's been years since I don't really like listen to music on the regular, and I kind of suppressed that part of, you know, myself listening to a lot of music, because I feel like music takes over your emotions sometimes. And you know that song, "Move, B, get out the way," and you kind of like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Or you can listen to some sad love song music, and it's like, and it could just like take over emotionally. So I'm very careful what I listen to, you know, the energy that I put in, because I feel like it controls your energy. So I'm not like this guru on music. And I begin to wonder too, and this is my thing. I'm the first lady Erika. This is K Banger. Soon we'll have Mr. Gwalla Gwalla on here. I consider myself as a conduit. I help people. That's my God-given gift, to help people and connect them to things that are positive, to help them promote their business, help them improve their lives. And if I can't do it, if you come to me for something and I can't help you get to that goal, I will help you find somebody that can. That being said, I always question everything. You always got to ask this question, what's in it for me? So as I look at people doing certain things, I'm looking at them like, well, what's in it for them? Or what's your deal? You know, what are you trying to accomplish? So sometimes when I see certain music or certain songs, I wonder, what is the objective? Is it, you know, especially with this, I see the media, you know, maybe you promote things as being more Black people are doing it, or, oh, look at the white people. And I see a lot of people promoting separation with the media. So if I hear something violent, or I feel like it's violent, or they can lead to violence, I start to wonder, like, is that the purpose of it? You know, so through this whole incidence of crime after crime after crime, and Black Lives Matters, and police attacking people and people attacking police, I get to thinking about who's in charge of all this, and why is this happening. But that being said, we can go ahead and hit the switch on this and listen to this song. I've listened to it maybe once or twice, and you know, you give me your input on it. You're a music fan, so. Whoa, sorry. Let's try it again.
I don't hear it.
Oh, you don't? Okay, so you can hear it. I think I had to share sound. Yeesh. Chat, pause, recording. Share audio. Switch. Ah, there you go. Share sound from the computer. So, okay. Rewind.
She made a little bit of money for a lot of blood, tears, and sweat. Jump. For 400 years, you had your knees on our necks. A garden of evil with no seeds of respect. In America's mirror, all she sees is regret. Instead of letting blood live, they begging for bloodlet. Revenge is a dish that's served on platelets. Transfusion of confusion, abusing our intellect. I can't be bought with a $1,200 check, even though $1,200 can make a meal stretch. My mama wasn't rich, but she earned my respect. She made a little bit of money for a lot of blood, tears, and sweat. Jumping up and down on police cars, I'm vexed. After Chauvin killed George Floyd, we got next. Molotov cocktails, anarchy on the set. The rich took the loot, so now we loot shit. Feeling like a caged tiger that's whipped to do tricks. That's why I started fires and yelled and threw bricks. They tried to run me over and arrest me and shit. Tase pepper spray and engage with the kid. They ran up in the state house with them AKs quick. But let a nigga try and do that white boy shit. Won't be no rubber bullets ricocheting off ribs. But the white supremacists go in the cops' face and spit. Try to barbecue, Becky call the cops on the kid. Hoping and praying it'd be some Emmett Till shit. Sandra wasn't bland, they hated Mike cause he brown.
Okay, we just had Gwalla showing up in here, so let me hit the button to play.
Trayvon should have had an Aston Martin riding around. Amadou Diallo, it's way too many to follow. Vato, how much of my pride I gotta swallow? God only knows how deep this plan goes. I was dealing with this.
Whoa. Who did that? Oh, God. Was that in a video?
Wait, what happened?
Yo, did somebody just like bust up on my screen and put something on there? Wow, that was gross, actually. I think somebody
Really?
yeah, dude.
What do you mean, like that old freaky Zoom stuff that they were talking about not too long ago?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was, yeah. Let me see something. Let me change advanced option. Who can share? Only host. All right. Wow. So whoever Penny is, yikes. That was creepy and gross. Anyway.
Yeah, you see, we got a lot of, you see, so that thus the season for the topic, right?
My ancestors' souls.
A lot of craziness going on.
Wow. So they put like a big black dude with his junk out, naked, sitting on top of George.
Vato, how much of my pride I gotta swallow? God only knows how deep this plan goes. I was dealing with this shit as a teen in Kangos. Harassed by cops, word to my ancestors' souls. And watching that man die slow left a hole. He cried for his mama as the murder unfold. If it wasn't for them phones, Chauvin would be at home. Feeling justified because of George's skin tone. I'm telling it to those with melanin, you're not alone. The new Malcolm, Martin, and Marcuses are now grown. America's a graveyard full of black men's bones. And I ain't got to tell you that Breonna Taylor got slayed in her own home. Had they lived, Sean could have rocked bells. Eric could have garnered attention. Beyond the t-shirts and obituary mentions. Oscar could have been counting grants. Tamir could have went to Rice. They owed them cops nothing, but all of them paid the price. So yeah, you right. We should protect our Second Amendment rights. Because in a second, a dirty cop can kick the door in at night. A 2-4-2 finna light.
All right, cool. So that's the first one. You got it?
I got it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd seen this.
Okay. You're a professional. You're a DJ, you know, you're a rapper or a lyricist.
Yes.
What you got?
Yes.
What you got?
Well, I mean, this is LL Cool J, man. I mean, how can anyone deny the greatest of all time, the GOAT, LL Cool J, man? You know, beside that, I really have nothing else to say. I really don't. I mean, what are your thoughts about it? I mean, not if you know if you know me, you know that LL Cool J could do no wrong in my eyes. So that's the long and short of it for me.
Anything stand out? Like any cool verses you like to talk about? What's up? What's up?
Well, I didn't write down any takeaways of the verse that I felt were particularly sharp.
Yeah, not
the whole
that.
but the whole thing is just well, here's the thing too, Erika. This is the first time in a long time. Sorry for blocking the video. I had to run out in the rain. But
He is having a hard time, folks. Y'all forgive him. Yeah. Unmute. You're killing me.
I'm mute.
Okay, there you go. This is the first time in a long time.
Yeah, this is the first time in a long time that I've heard you know, MCs and rappers
Somebody is working against us. This is creepy.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, right. Sorry, I didn't do that. I didn't do it before either. But yeah, it's the first time in a while you've seen MCs talking about this type of stuff. For 10 years, we've seen all types of wars. People go through all type of hardship and nobody talking about it. Nobody mentioning anything, really. So to see this come out of, especially some of the golden age MCs, is I know for me is inspiring, it's motivating.
Okay. Go on. Let the people listen. Nick Cannon, I Can't Breathe.
I can't breathe again. God damn, I can't breathe. My voices are being quarantined. COVID-19, 60s to 1619. Jamestown choked me, sold me, shackles hold me tightly by my neck, and I can't breathe again. 2020 ain't no fucking vision on your tail light vision of why I'm living like a prejudged villain. CNN, Fox News commentating and debating why I can't fucking breathe again. How many times do I have to say this? I'm taking the gloves off because racism is the main deadliness that's contagious. I just got diagnosed and received a degree in criminology, but fuck your education. I don't want to learn shit from a nation that's racist. The definition of policing, overseeing property. I can't understand how the white man never understood how to handle the human properly. Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the noble Jew Ali spoke constantly, consciously, and cautiously about this ungodly prophecy. You still worried about your prophecy? Amazon deliveries, handouts, hands up, don't shoot me. Now your knees on my neck, stopping me from occupying oxygen that God obviously brought for me. For I am His offspring, His true seed. Motherfucker, get off of me, please. I can't breathe. Please, somebody call the police on the police, cause I can't breathe again. And everything hurts. Your words, your knees, your nerve, your white wife who had the nerve to say she was frightened by black life while my face is on the fucking curb. I ain't scared of no fucking virus. This mask is for a riot. I can't breathe, and the media telling me to keep quiet, suffocating me into silence. The devil's greatest trick, convincing the world that we were the ones who were violent. Nah, they the ones deficient, insufficient comprehension of their barbaric existence. Y'all worried about this pandemic when our grandparents still trying to recover from when you gave them syphilis. Because in our blood, we scared of the white cells attacking our immunity. The system, defective, infected. So who has the disease, you or me? Because I'm at a dis-ease, disadvantage, dismantled disability of your white knees killing me. Been on our neck for centuries. Knees or trees, either way you still lynching me. And what did we ever do to you except for build and make America great initially? Fuck again, cause I can't breathe. Potentially you missing me, clearly not listening. Intentionally, we are a people of peace, but like Pac said, I ain't no killer, but your policies are pushing me further from the legislation, jumping off the education, while your skinheads, the damnation in your clandestine rhetoric will forever be evident. Fuck the elite in the top 3%, I'm heaven sent. I was born Asiatic and you made me asthmatic. So fuck your vaccines and masks. You gon' worry about these hands tomorrow cause you can't sanitize the past. You may have took my last breath, but you'll never colonize my spirit. Standing there watching while I die. I can't breathe. And you still can't hear it.
Wow. That thing, it makes my chest tight now, you know, like just listening to that. I can't breathe. And I like that part where he says, you know, he referenced Tupac, I ain't a pick killer, but don't push me, you know? But my initial reaction, I know people got pissed, but my initial reaction was like, is he trying to start violence? Like, and I guess it's because that emotion came through the song. It was so freaking powerful, you know what I'm saying? So at first I was like, what is this about, you know? We got to get Gwalla unmuted. Unmute Gwalla. There you go. I'll let you guys talk. We got K Banger and Mr. Gwalla Gwalla out there in Houston,
Yeah,
right?
what's up? What's good? What's good?
Oh my God, I'm so glad you made it.
I'm trying to turn on my video so I can see.
You reversed the camera. So what you missed, we watched the first one with LL Cool J, and somebody decided to join the group and put up a picture of a big naked man sitting on top of George with his junk hanging out. I was like, wow, I got haters, okay? That's fun. But we're not stopping, so let's keep going.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's crazy.
Ah, man. You know, it just goes to show more people watching you than you know what I'm saying? Just when you think you wasn't doing nothing. But you got a chance to listen to Nick Cannon and the I Can't Breathe. What was your reaction?
Definitely. You're gonna always have somebody watching, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought it was powerful. I've always liked Nick Cannon. I was never mad at him. I like his career. I like how he's changed stuff around, how he diversified himself. You know, meaningful lyrics. You can feel the passion. Got some vulgar lyrics in there. You know, I know I don't mind it, but I always call it out.
Right.
But you know, it reflects the passion, man. I mean, it's raw. It's truthful. So you know, people are reflecting what they feel right now. So I know for me, I appreciate that.
Right. Mr. Gwalla?
Is that for which video are we speaking on?
Nick
I'm sorry,
Cannon.
you gotta give me a second. I was running a little late behind, so I had to get right, you know
Don't
what I'm
worry
saying? So
about
my
it.
apologies, K-Banger, you know.
Yeah, what up,
Definitely.
man? Peace.
So where are we at? Like, which video are we talking about? Because I witnessed both of them.
Nick Cannon. I Can't Breathe.
Man, Nick Cannon, I'll tell you one thing about Nick Cannon, man. Just don't know. I love Nick Cannon's drive, man. You know, he's a guy that definitely always been at the top and at the peak of his career since I've seen him. You know what I mean? And he have a number of things that he do that some people don't like, but I stand behind him 100%. And that video, to be honest with you, is the best video that I ever seen from Nick Cannon in rap. His lyrics are definitely on point. He spoke a loud voice, man. You know what I mean? And the things that he says, I'm quite sure that what I like about him is his courage, because after you do something like that, a lot of people that actually backed him definitely would try to blackball him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You risk that. You risk your career.
Yes, but he was so confident in himself, and even not just himself, putting, it down to where he don't care about what happens if nobody blackball him, if he, if any issues come in, technical issues, he didn't care about that. You know what I mean? And what I liked about it most of all, is it wasn't even about the wordplay. It wasn't even about the hype around it. It was about him making a point and standing up for some brothers who going through a lot just to try to get the way he's at.
Right.
So for him to be stepping out on that limb or ready to jump off the cliff behind the principles against the principalities of that situation actually put him at a higher level in my book. And he was already at a top level in my book. You know what I mean? So
awesome.
We gotta give major props to him. And it was with a deep passion, like the brother K-Banger said, you know what I mean? Like it was definitely with a deep passion. In a situation like that, we deal with a lot of flack come back from it regardless. But we have to realize that even in the situations that we in, we gonna get flack for whatever we do on a positive or a negative note anyway.
Regardless.
So by him taking that and going ahead and just going with that move, he actually put another stamp in a legacy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say from the beginning, he's been doing his thing. You know what I mean? And he never stopped. He never fell off, even with things that he made a situation within the black communities or whatever. And it says, I'm gonna tell you another thing too. It says a lot about his character because it reminds me of a certain kind of situation that I have been dealing with, and not just me, other brothers that are king in this nation are dealing with. It's
Yeah,
just
we're
like
going to talk about that, being conscious. How do you spread a conscious message? So yeah, we're going to get back to that. We're going to get back to that. I'm going to go to the next video. We'll open it up to just a total, just talking about the business, because when you got someone else signing your paycheck, you know, you get to this level where you gotta kind of dance the way they want you to dance, or you don't get to dance at all, you know? So next one, Papoose. Woo, love it.
Amadou Diallo was shot 19 times. The police fired 41 shots combined. Mistaken identity, they had to admit it. When they went to trial, all 4 officers got acquitted. Ahmaud Arbery, his skin made him a target. 2 racist white men shot him while he was jogging. Betty Jones was inside of her house the day after Christmas when shots rang out. A bullet traveled inside of her home and slaughtered her. No charges were filed against the officer.
Domain and have your people moving. That's a small blip.
Sorry. I got hands.
Amadou Diallo was shot 19 times. The police fired 41 shots combined. Mistaken identity, they had to admit it. When they went to trial, all 4 officers got acquitted. Ahmaud Arbery, his skin made him a target. 2 racist white men shot him while he was jogging. Betty Jones was inside of her house the day after Christmas when shots rang out. A bullet traveled inside of her home and slaughtered her. No charges were filed against the officer. Cornelius Brown, cops chose to kill. They shot him 7 times. He was mentally ill. Dominic Fuller was murdered. It gets stranger. They say he had a gun. All he had was a stapler. Eric Garner, he was a father, but now a martyr. Ain't deserved to be slaughtered. His last words, I can't breathe. Moment of silence. The officer who killed him didn't even get indicted. Emmett Till, 14 years old. They claim he flirted with a white woman. How cold. They took off his clothes, called him a nigger, lynched him and threw him in the Tallahassee River. Freddie Gray had his spinal cord severed, killed in a police van after arrested. 6 officers got charged, this is ridiculous. 2 years, 4 trials, no convictions. George Floyd, 3 officers nailed on him. He told them he couldn't breathe. They didn't care for him. The country rioting everywhere for him. Fuck those cops, I have no fear for him. Hector Mowan, he was unarmed. The cops shot him dead. He cried for his mom. India Kaga, Navy vet. The passenger in the vehicle was a suspect. Her baby in the back seat. The cops started shooting. The officers were cleared of criminal wrongdoing. Jamal Clark, restraint wasn't enough. They shot him in his head while he was in handcuffs. Cal Coppin was mentally ill, but they say he had a gun. All he had was a hairbrush. The cops shot him, a king with the coroner. No charges were filed against the officer. Laquan McDonald was jaywalking. They shot him to the ground, murdered without a warning. Alleged that he pulled the knife and tried to rush him. The video proved they lied. How disgusting. Mike Brown, the suburbs of Ferguson. Allegedly, a cop drove by. He had words with him. The officer shot him. He did nothing wrong. Why did he have to kill him? The man was unarmed. Nathaniel Pickett, rest heavenly. He was brutally murdered by a sheriff deputy. Oscar Grant, the world knows his name. He was traveling, the cops grabbed him off the train, placed him on his knees, laid him on his chest, then shot him in his back. May he peacefully rest. Philando Castile, traffic stop. He was legally strapped, he informed the cop. The officer got nervous, a murder was committed. Charged with manslaughter, but he got acquitted. Quintonio Legre called the cops 3 different times before he got shot. Allegedly, they say he charged at him with a bat. but since he made the call, it's hard to believe that. Rodney King, they beat him with billy clubs. They blame us, but the cops are really thugs. The verdict was not guilty. How shifty. That sparked the worst riot scene since the 60s. Sandra Bland, traffic stop. The racial profiling of us has to stop. 3 days later, she was hanging in a cell. They ruled it a suicide. The truth shall prevail. Terrence Franklin was cornered in the basement. He tried to surrender, got executed by hatred. The U stands for the unknown, who died by racism. Their faces weren't shown. Victor LaRussa, they thought he had one, but after they killed him, they never found the gun. Walter Scott, the world loves you. The cop said he feared for his life in the scuffle. The video proved he lied, revealed facts. He ran for his life, 8 shots in his back. Xavier Roby was riding his bike. Point blank range, they shot him and took his life. Why? Yusuf Hawkins was shot down in 1989 by some racist clowns. Jamil Crawford was chased to his death, rammed into a wall, he took his last breath. Zimmerman, I know you think you got away with it, but everyone has karma, yours gonna be my favorite.
Woo, it's hot. Gwalla
Yeah,
Gwalla.
man.
What's up? K-Banger, what's up? That thing, I'm telling you, it was beautiful.
Yeah, strong. Yeah, strong stuff, man. That's all I can say about that.
Woo.
I mean, and you know, and Papoose in his alphabetical style.
Yeah.
He wasn't the first I've seen to do that. I know a guy off the street in Amboy that was the first person I saw do that, go through A through Z and write a rhyme like that. But Pap has always done stuff like that. To me, he's always written very chilling music. You know what I'm saying? Like this kind of verse here, and what it's displaying in the fashion that he's putting it in is very disturbing. You can feel it. He has a way with doing that. I still remember his record, Hip Hop Police, a while back, and I remember the kind of feeling that gave me, you know, and it gave me a chilling kind of vibe, you know. He shone a light on that, on what he called the Hip Hop Police. So, you know, this is classic. Once again, you know, you can always count on this brother to drop something on current events. So, respect.
Definitely. Before I say anything, I really want to ask, like, what is our pivoted point in responding on this? Because I definitely have a lot of things to say and a lot of different directions I could take it. You know what I mean? So are we just grading the artist or reviewing the
No, you're
artist?
not grading it. It's about how you feel, what you think, and how it's reflecting right now what's going on. Is it improving it? Is it making it better? Is it making people more conscious? Or, you know, like I said,
Man,
part that you missed. But I initially,
Yeah.
My bad, Rick. I'm loving the logo and the graphic work, man. Salute for that. That you
Yeah.
keep it up, man.
Respect, fam. Yes, sir. Respect. Peace.
Pretty dope. Okay, so by we being live on Facebook and we on this podcast, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get real deep into it. You know, first and foremost, I don't mean no disrespect to anybody's watching. I'm not being colored on the racist stuff. I'm not being disrespectful in any shape, form, or fashion, but I'm gonna say how I feel. And of course, this is legendary, and whatever you do online gonna always be there. It's gonna never go anywhere because it's up and it's online. First and foremost, major mad love and respect to Papoose. He's a real lyricist. He's a true black man, and he's a true king. And he still float no matter what goes on. And he also have him a true black queen. Major respect to him. And after that, I'm gonna go into saying I hate America. I hate this country. I'm a black man who was born into the ghetto of places of just what these artists and people are talking about. And it was that way because of what the racist people made it. I was also almost murdered by police officers themselves, and it wasn't just a white thing. It was a black officer that almost murdered me. And that's just the way that it's structured in this place. They're able to do anything that goes with that. I'm mad at this very moment because these songs, of course, is leaving a legacy, but that's not enough to do it. When you look at that song or what we're saying and what Papoose is doing, and not just Papoose, other artists as well, that's giving fuel to the white supremacist smile. No matter how much passion we have in our voice, no matter how much anger we have in our voice, they would love to hear that song giving a stamp to them, for that's all the people that they murdered and got away with.
Let me interrupt.
I'm sorry.
Let me interrupt you. That's the initial thing that I said when I first started, but you weren't here. And I'm gonna let you totally finish. That was my initial reaction was, is it making it worse or is it making it better? So you go ahead and say what you wanna say.
So it's actually generating fuel to the fire, because just as we watch it, it gives us pain. But as the white supremacists watch it, or even not just white supremacists, any other racist person that watches, even the blacks that hate our own race, that gives fuel to their fire and give them a reason to smile. Now, if we could find ways to implicate that in cases, if we could find ways to implicate that in legislation, if we could find ways to implicate that and put it on the TV across the world as they go on with the New World Order, then it would help us out much more. Because when we listen to those songs, don't get me wrong, I would love to make one of those songs. The artist is doing a great thing. I'm not saying nothing wrong against the artist. I'm speaking of powers and principalities. Now, any Ku Klux Klan member, any racist that see that song, they're gonna be smiling from ear to ear. But I'd rather they was, I'm not gonna say that. But what I will say, what I will say is, I'm a man right now, a black man, Creole man from New Orleans, Louisiana. Obviously, somewhere down the line, they raped one of my grandmothers that took a little bit of my black. I wish I was Kunta Kinte color. You understand me? But when it comes down to the line, I'm dealing with some racial discrimination situations myself currently. So I'm really infurious about what's going on, and for to watch that song and listen, because that's my first time hearing it. To watch that, I'm infuriated. I'm mad. And see, that's what those songs do to us black brothers and kings when we're going through these things or lost someone through these things, or thinking that it will ever happen to us or anyone closer to us. We have to find a way to differently structure things to where it will be, you know, all those artists that doing those great songs, if we can have a big concert about it and a big push behind it and people to donate behind it, to where we could put that money into pushing against the legislations or removing others who are racist or have any flaws that seems as if they're not for the people. And even if they have words that are for the people, if they can't prove it by actions, we remove them too. Something literally has to be done.
When I've heard the first Nick Cannon, I swear, I know I was making people mad, but I was like, the anger on his face and the words together, I was like, this is gonna make more people set things on fire. That was my concern at first, was this is so painful, it ignites more pain to go out. And then even with Papoose, like you're going A through Z, I see what you're saying, because that's like giving them a head count, like, yeah, we did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we did that.
Look what we did.
Let me tell you what was happening. Let me tell y'all, brothers, and not to cut you off, Queen. Let me tell you, kings and queens, of something that I dealt with a couple of days ago. I was walking through a facility, and I passed by two Caucasian guys. And when I passed by those two Caucasian guys, one of them screamed out, "Yeah, we kill it." While this is currently going on in America right now. What you mean by you kill it? You know, they don't look at us as people. Black people are not considered in the legislation as citizens. We are considered as animals or properties. I mean, this is even in the law. This is not just something of what we think. When you go down to the black and white written in law, we are not considered citizens. We are not considered as humans. That's why they kill us and get away with it and been doing it for all these years. I am literally, to be honest with you, I'm enraged. And I'm battling with myself being enraged, because if you don't control your emotions, they use you.
Right.
So what I'm doing is I'm really just stating it and bringing it out to the brothers right now. Even at this point in time, see, we looking at a problem that is a problem, but it's really a issue. Right now, at this very moment, we still have young black kings and brothers that are beefing with each other and looking to find one of them that did them something wrong to kill them. It's things like that that is bothering me. While we also fighting against the cops and the other people who are out to kill us. There's ways that we can get past this. And just like the amazing artists like Papoose, the amazing artists like LL Cool J and Nick Cannon, anything I'm saying is not towards those guys, man. Those guys are great. LL Cool J himself inspired me to be an artist. So it's nothing, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing that I'm saying against those guys. What I'm saying is we have to do a structure, a well structure. And last and closing on that point is, the people who burning down the buildings, the people who are doing most of the vandalism are not black. Let's talk about that before I close. The people who are doing that are not black. You can see it on video yourself. You never seen one black person with a spray paint can in his hand. You never seen one black person set a store on fire. That is not us blacks that's doing it. It's white people that are doing it. And guess what? I'm not saying that every white person is against us who are out there protesting with us, but every white person who is doing it, their faces is covered and they're wearing all black.
Well, we can add on to that by simply stating that our people have never formed an army to overthrow the nation. We don't manufacture guns here.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We don't do that type of stuff. We historically we've never done it.
It's not in our MO. That's kind of the
Never
thing.
done it.
Kind of the thing. I'm gonna hit this next one. Ooh wee, love it.
Man, King Virtue, he got a dope one too, man. I need to get on y'all bros level.
All right, let's go to the next thing. Love it, Jay-Z.
Domain and have your people moving. That's a small glimpse into the Nipsey movement. To anybody still confused as to what he was doing. Make right the hood to keep us trapped. The red line it probably declines if you live by black. I don't think they hear me though. Okay. Gentrify your own hood before these people do it. Claim eminent domain and have your people moving. That's a small glimpse into what Nipsey was doing. But anybody still confused as to what he was doing. The neighborhood designed to keep us trapped. They redlined it so property declines if you live by blacks. They depress the asset and take the property back. It's a ruthless but a genius plan in fact. So now we fighting over scraps. Crabs in the barrel, but crabs don't belong in the barrel. They ain't never tell us that. So in the barrel, we gonna act like we act. We can easily get out the barrel if we stand on each other's back. Whoever gets on top, as long as they stay attached, they can pull everybody out. I was doing just that. I told neighborhood Nipsey, stay close. $100 million on your schedule, lay low. Tell your team to be on point in the places that they go. I never dreamed to get killed in the place that he called home. How we gonna get in power with you source? Y'all like to run off on the plug, so of course. That ain't lit, that's a means to an end. Me and my team was playing the plug and had a plan. Sometimes we was only making 1,000 a joint. That ain't no money, but that ain't their point. So those 92 bricks was only 92,000. So y'all can close your mouth, it ain't nothing for y'all to wow. But it is something to study. We was chasing our goals, not chasing money. Niggas chasing hoes, we find that funny. I pull up in the roads, that hoe gon' want me. But I don't want no hoe, I want a wife. Somebody to bounce Sometimes I dance off at night. I be going to sleep hoping they'd visit me. That young king had a lot of jewels to split with me. And we ain't gotta leave the hood physically, but we gotta leave that shit mentally. Somehow, some way, we're gonna make it up out the hood someday. Somehow, we gonna make it up out this life, right? Somehow, some way, we gotta make it up out the
You think about
hood.
that?
Somehow, some way, we gotta make it up out this life. Yeah. Somehow, some way.
On my end, I definitely take those situations a lot of ways and run with it. But we can, not I can. You know what I'm saying? We can definitely take it a lot of different ways and run with it. But that song itself was just like confirmation of what I said in many different
And that's
ways.
why I do what I do, and that's why, like the last few programs, I'm saying during these times you want to protest, get your money right. That's it. Get your money right. And his is more cerebral because he's not talking about just being angry and lashing out and fighting back and just reminding you of the pain, but do something about it. Here's the plan. This is the plan. Get your money right.
One thing I like, and I definitely agree with you on one point that I would like to make, man. In situations like that, you know, that it really speaks for itself. In situations like, of course, a number of us other brothers are going through. When you really look at it, if you use your mind and play it smart, you won't get caught up in that rapture and really go down into the ground. If you use your mind and really think on it, man, it goes back to the William Lynch or Willie Lynch or whatever his dumb duck alufficus looking butt name was. You understand me? It's divide, control, and conquer. Whenever you look at killing your own brother, whenever you look at robbing your own brother, whenever you look at despising your own brother, it's only placing you from that blueprint that was made from back then. You know, and it goes into the same, and I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna, because
We can go, right? We know we can talk.
Yeah, you know, I really want to hear what some of the other brothers had to say. But that song makes a lot of sense, and it really is. It's just like the Dame Dash with the Jay-Z and the Rockefeller thing. You know what I mean? There's a story behind that where, you know, some things came into play that Jay-Z didn't really agree with, so he just went the other way. And look at him now. You know what I mean? Just look at him now. When you take the high road instead of going into the beefing and the warring and the fighting against your brothers, look at it now. But I'm gonna close on my end with that.
Okay, Banger.
It was good. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. Jay-Z, great MC. You know, crisp live delivery. You know, I mean, I don't care how ignorant folks look at first. If you give people a little time, they're going to start crafting their message toward a bigger picture. And you've seen that. You've seen that, that growth in the brother Jay-Z, who was an elder in the game and deserves the respect and success that he has. And now he's dropping those messages now.
I guess that was my thing too. When I first saw the other three, well, initially it was the Nick Cannon. When I initially saw that Nick Cannon, I was like, is he just trying to make us angry, or is it supposed to make us think? And then when I hear the difference, I'm like, okay, now this makes me think. This shows me a plan. This shows me what I need to do, not just be angry. I got to do something besides just being angry and being emotional and allowing other people to use my emotions. So when I saw that, I said, I'm curious as to why this was made. And, you know, I know certain channels like this candidate, certain channels like that candidate, certain channels thrive on racial discord. They actually promote it because that's all they're showing you is, you know, racial discord. So I'm not going to say all that and be specific, but I think, you know, some channels you watch, they cater to certain types of drama. And I get to wondering, when you make a video, especially using clips from the news media, I start to wonder, well, who paid for this? Like, how did this come about? But then, you know, I did come to realize that, you know, if you use a video that goes viral, you don't have to pay anybody, you know? So, but I always like to ask people, ask yourself why. Like, if somebody makes a video, if somebody makes a song, or what is the intention behind it? Like, and where are they leading me to? That's why I'm really careful about music in the first place, because it grabs a hold of your emotions and it can drive you. So,
well, let's remember the foundation of this hip hop, right? And we're talking about conscious messages, informative, almost like news type information you're getting from different hoods, selling hundreds of thousands of copies a week without airplay or video play. So what is that telling you? That these messages don't sell, they're not relevant? Well, the math doesn't really prove that, because if you go back to groups like Public Enemy and these other rap acts, Ice-T, guys selling millions of records, no airplay. So what is that telling you?
they're going to put across the message that's convenient for them. Who's in
well, right, but it's kind of
airwaves. They allow certain messages to come across these airwaves. So.
Exactly. So you would, I mean, so in a lot of ways, that's just a re-engineered form of street culture. Back when this was pure, folks didn't know nothing about that. But you had young people getting very, becoming very wise, becoming very savvy from the use of this music. I know people that learn English because of hip hop music. They learn the English language. This is very powerful stuff we're dealing with here. And it's time to go back to that. I'm not saying it's coming back. It's here to stay. Ain't.
Hey, K-Banger, can I pick it back off what you just said?
Go for it.
So,
hey,
by the way,
hold up. Wait, before you go there, hold up. So I got the brother, Eric Patillo, a.k.a. King Virtue, on the line. That's my dude right there. We go back BET and all that, man. That's where we met. And this cat's production is sick. I'm glad to see you on the line, brother. Good to see you, man. Out of VA. Straight out of Virginia.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate the love, man. Appreciate it. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, nah. So what I wanted to piggyback off of what you were saying is, I guess I had a two-part question / statement. So the people that we just heard from are all would be considered elder statesmen in hip hop, right? I guess the first part is, one, you know, obviously it's good to see all these brothers who have at a minimum, Papoose has what, 15 years in the game. You got Jay 30 years in the game, LL 35 years in the game. I mean, we're talking, you know, the inception. I mean, LL Cool J, first artist signed to Def Jam. Nick Cannon, whatever you may feel about him as a hip hop artist, but I mean, he's an icon in many respects. But my point is, I guess one is, I don't want to disrespect and say, are they taking advantage of the moment to use it as publicity? But is it too little too late? And part two is, I haven't heard anything from the little Zans, the little Yachties, the little this, the little that. All these young cats that are now profiting off of the blood, sweat, and tears of the pioneers that gave them the lane to make these millions and millions of dollars on endorsements and these one-hit wonder songs without the lyrical prowess that their predecessors had, they're not saying a damn thing. And you have these artists that have been in the game for generations now that are speaking up, which is wonderful, but it's kind of, to me, it feels like at this point, it's kind of like preaching to the choir, right? So Jay dropping, LL dropping, Nick dropping, they're all speaking knowledge, but are they reaching the people that need to actually hear it, right? We hear it, we already know what's going on, we know the message, but are the young cats that are basically eating off of, again, what the elder statesmen have done, have paved the way for, are completely and totally silent. So what is really, I guess,
Good question.
what are they trying to get, right? You know what I'm saying? Where are we going with this?
Because you said the elders, if you was around for Fight the Power, you're right. You already know what it is. You already know what the message is, right?
Right.
You was here for Fight the Power when everything was KRS-One and everybody was being elevated. But you see, that's been squashed. Those messages aren't there, right? So any new artist coming along, you can't talk that talk. Now you can talk this angry talk or this foolish talk, and you can talk about what? Money, sex, drugs, and clothes. All a nigga knows. You know what I'm saying? So you can talk like that, and then you can get paid.
Well,
but it's no more of that, you know, what's up with this consciousness?
Another, excuse me, I won't cut in for you just for a second, definitely. That was a great message, bro, that you said, you know what I'm saying? And that really makes a lot of sense what you just talked about and spoke about, you know what I mean? So definitely salute for that. You know, I'm familiar with and work with a number of, you know, younger artists that you know what I'm saying, they're fresh to the game, new to the game, relatively new, not just really too fresh, you know what I mean? And, you know, when you come into artists is, I mean, because I don't want to say this meaning like I'm going against what you say, Eric, because I'm definitely with you 1,000,000%. Like, you know what I mean? I'm definitely, yeah, you know what I mean?
Something, so, you're a free black man, you understand? So that means we're free to disagree. You understand?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But no, I definitely understand that. I definitely understand that. Yeah, I definitely understand that, but I don't.
Than me around me, otherwise I can't be exposed to anything new, a new idea. If everybody who's around me has to agree, then that's slavery, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But no, I definitely understand that. But the reason why I say that is because I do agree with them, and I don't want to say that I don't. It's not that I don't agree with them. Yeah, I just want to speak on some terminology of why I think those young artists are like that.
Right.
Okay.
Because me being an artist, man, I started my own record company in 2003. I've been rapping since I was 9 years old, and of course, I work with a number of artists, especially ones like Lil Yachty. I didn't been around Lil Yachty, but you catch me with Quality Control, interacting with a number. I'm not dropping no names, but I'm, you know, familiar with a lot of those guys. You know what I mean? And definitely in Atlanta. But me just being another artist, because I haven't reached my peak yet, and I've been doing it for a long time. A number of those artists, it goes back into the point of this is how I feel, and I don't mean I'm correct, but it's just how I would think I feel. Just like Nicki Minaj. You know, Nicki Minaj got blackballed because of what she did on the BET Stage Awards, and she said that it disrespected the other little, you know, Caucasian chick. I'm not gonna say her name, but they blackballed her. That's why they stopped playing her music. Well, in this game, when you're looking at people like Jay-Z, you're looking at people like Papoose, and you're looking at people like Cool J, it's hard for you to blackball them because they're already just deeply rooted in the game. They can make those millions of dollars like Public Enemy did on the street, but you have these other young guys like Lil Uzi Vert, like Lil Wooty Wooty Woo, and they're still fresh where they could get blackballed very easily going against the opposition of some of the people who actually are bosses of their bosses. So I just believe that they may be intimidated, and that's one thing. Like I said, I agree with Erika 1,000,000%. We have to find a way, and of course, K Banger too, everything K Banger said, and you as well. I think we all on the same page. But what I'm saying is, I think we need to really find a way to go with this move with longevity. See, if we would have never stopped when Dr. King was murdered, if we would have never stopped when Malcolm X was murdered, and we would have kept on going with the same movement that we having right now, we wouldn't be having this movement now. So if we could, as brothers and sisters and associates and affiliates, stay on this marching move until it's not even until, ain't no until. You know, that's just from my point of view. Like, you know, I would just like for us to just keep on moving with it and never stop, no matter who win, no matter who lose, no matter what it is. If we could just keep these younger kids, because they're really the ones. Now the artist is not on the front lines, you know what I mean? But the younger kids is the ones who are doing the most protesting out there, I believe. But I think it will be a good move for all of us, all of the younger brothers to step up. Like, you know what I'm saying, like Patillo said, man, and really move forward with it as well. You feel me? Like, we need to really be a whole unit together in one, man.
That being said, longevity, having a movement does not allow your message to be suppressed. So I listened to David Banner talking about the God box, and yes, this structure cannot be a temporary structure. And guess what? If you got a message that they won't put on the radio and they won't put, you know, on those airways and on TV like you want, you know, we're to the point where now you are self-publishing, and maybe you don't ever, you know, CDs aren't necessary. We got SoundCloud, we got YouTube, we got Facebook. You can still create the music that you want and put the messages out that you want, and you don't have to worry about them giving you airtime on the local station that plays the same thing hour after hour. I don't know how you can play one artist, three of their songs in 1 hour. How does that work? You know what I'm saying? So you don't even have to bow down to that anymore.
True. But I mean, the bulk of the artists that are making the money right now, besides obviously the top tier artists like Jay and Nick, who are getting the majority of their money at this point, not from music, right? From business ventures.
That's
or
right.
Hosting TV shows or clothing lines or whatever, right? So, but the actual music itself, some artists, you know, these artists, they want to be here 10 years from now, 15 years from now. So when you have the Coles and the Kendricks, who will be, because they followed the blueprint of the Jays and the Nas, 20 years from now, they'll still have a catalog, and they'll still have a fan base that will mess with them, that will be 20 years older and 20 years younger, and still ride with them the entire way, not just the wave that we're at now. And the artists that do have, like Migos and all these other artists that have millions and millions and millions and millions of fans, and not to sound corny, but the youth is tomorrow, right? So the cats that are coming up now, they're the ones that are going to be the elder statements in the future. And if they don't get on board and make it happen now, it's almost like, again, too little, too late.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I want to say one more thing too, because I do have another appointment, man. Before I do get off, man, I definitely want to give a major appreciation and a salute to both of y'all kings. Definitely, you know what I mean. Keep on doing what y'all doing, brother, because people are definitely watching y'all, and y'all definitely influence a lot. You know what I mean. It's my first time meeting y'all, but we all cross paths for a reason. You know what I mean. So
yes, sir.
I definitely want to salute y'all, and definitely, of course, you too, Erika. You know what I mean. I want to go back into this.
You gonna drop that verse for us?
What verse you want?
You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know which one you talking about.
Yeah, you dropped it. God, positive, your new direction.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely do that for you. I could definitely do that for you. But
right.
I wanna say this. And I think this is very important to the movement, just as well as everything else we've been saying. But I think it's very important. It was something that you said about agreeing to disagree. Now, let me speak. I'm a Gemini, so man, I got like 2 heads. You know what I mean? That's just what I do, right?
Me too. My birthday was yesterday.
So you feel me? So listen.
I just turned 40 yesterday, brother.
Man, say, bro, that's crazy, because I'm about to do the same on June 18th, man. We gonna see each other again.
All right.
Word.
Yeah. So listen. This is the thing that we need to go to our people with and press. Yeah, you could agree to disagree, but let me give these pointers that I'm making. Why do you think the Chinese people and nation are so powerful? Why do you think the white Caucasian is so powerful? Not only that, why do you think Africans are so powerful? Why do you think the Russians, and I'm talking about at the top, are so powerful? The reason being is because it's simple as this. In order to become a great leader, you must have to first be a great follower. And not only that, it goes back into the retrospect of the point of, if someone if you get something and don't know what to do with it, and they give you instructions, if you follow those instructions, they will be put together very well. So it goes together with this point. If you have a leader, and not talking about none of us leaders, not saying nothing about that, they all stick together and they move in one, no matter if they feel if they're right or if they're wrong, they all do the same thing and move together. That brings forth power, because it's power in numbers. When you agree to disagree, that's cool with the democracy or whatever they call that's what we got going on in the United States. But look at us now because of this. It's because they're agreeing to disagree. And you get the Democrats and they go that way, you get the Republicans, they go that way, but really they all are working together. I'm gonna close on and saying this. A lot of people do not know how the government started in America. The government started in America because people that was named the Murray, like the Murray Gators, they were black people. And they taught the Caucasians how to run a government, or whatever they call it, democracy or whatever they call it. We as a people taught them how to do it. And then after we taught them how to do it, they kicked us to the curb, and look at it now. See, we have to stop letting some people in.
Yeah, you're referring to the Moors and not democracy, but the Republic. But I got you, brother.
Yeah, definitely. But definitely, man, I love y'all. I respect y'all, and I look forward to seeing y'all again, man. Gwalla music, definitely salute, yo.
No rhyme?
Yeah, respect, peace.
Don't rhyme yourself out?
Peace.
All right.
That's it, he's done.
He's done? Okay. Frozen. All right. Anybody have anything else to add?
Wait, yo, where's Virtue? You still here, man?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, I mean, it was good.
Erika, this is my dude right here. I'm glad he jumped on here. He be crashing shit. He says, yeah, he just crashing the party. So look, so check this out, right? It's funny that Eric, aka Virtue, was on this call, because check it out. We have just currently started relinking and getting together. I've known this guy for over a decade now. And we're working on a project, and it feels really, the feel of it is hard to explain, because the flavors that he's coming with is
You're muted again. I don't know what this magical stuff does, you know.
All right. It just got muted?
No, you good now.
Did you hear me the whole time?
Yeah, you good now.
Okay. Yeah, so what I was saying is that this brother, we're working on this project. And you know, it embodies a very contemporary feel with these classic overtones, and that's what I want to attempt to do with this brother, is come up with music that connects the old with the new. We're just gonna make it seamless, because his production reflects that.
Appreciate it.
I mean, I got a 16-year-old. My man Cashed Out MJ about to be featured on this. Out here from the O. and other classic MCs. I mean, it just fits with the tone of what's going on, because you have this time warp thing going. You got an original essence of hip hop coming on the scene to address things that are happening in the street, something we haven't seen in a long time. And we haven't seen that not by accident. I think it was intentional that hip hop don't reflect certain things. I mean, we've been to war, been to Middle East, all these things, and no one has stepped up in a song to address it in that kind of way unless it was some real underground tip. So
right,
Telling more stories.
right,
Telling more stories, yeah, more relevant stories of what is going on.
right. Because when you listen to somebody like Papoose and you mention all these names, this is year after year after year after year of things, and it didn't for some reason it didn't really stick until now.
right.
And I don't want to go too much into why, but I don't know why. But you know, now is better than nothing, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, all the stars are aligning.
Yeah. I know. Yeah,
Stars are
tell more
aligning.
stories too, because there's more stories to tell than the stories that are out here. Because to me, it reminds me of the movies. When we see black movies, you see black movies about the hood, some trios, some pimp stuff, and
Right.
then the rest
Gangsta
is
stuff.
slavery. And I'm like, hey, I don't want to see 12 years a slave. I don't want to see another Roots. I don't want to hear nothing about that, because there's more stuff that we've done in our history than be slaves. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to read Brother Rabbit or Brer Rabbit or whatever that is. And hey, tell another story besides, money, cars, and clothes.
Right.
There is a lot going on in the world, and this is supposed to be an art. It's poetry. It's observation of the times. Let's get some more information out here, more stories.
Hey, that's my cuz that just jumped on there, K Banger, so soon.
I'll mute him, so
he's on here.
Yeah, he just hopped on. I
Word.
told him that we was on here.
Yeah, put the guard on. Yeah, put the guard on the mic, man. Let's connect here. Now, Erika, real quick, because you're getting some guest play here. I think Virtue would be better to introduce this brother, but I just want to say that this brother So Soon just dropped an album, completed the album in like 6 days, something crazy. Featuring production by my man Eric, aka Virtue, and it's very timely. It's very the message is right on with the times. Glad to see a brother flowing like this, brother So Soon. Yo, thanks for following me on Instagram. I believe I followed you back. I'm feeling your style. Very nice, very refreshing, very classic. Kind of reminds me of like a new school native tongues feel, So, yo, respect to you, fam.
What's up,
Can y'all hear me?
Perfectly.
Yeah,
Great. I'm sorry.
Brother.
I was Virtue sent me this text like 2 hours ago, and I came from outside straight into the kitchen cooking dinner for my partner and I. So I did not anticipate. I didn't even know it was a Zoom call until I texted him and said, "What is this Facebook link you sent me?" So I'm very humbled by your words, K-Banger, and thankful to be here with y'all to kind of reflect on what's happening in this current moment in time. And thank you for the high words for the project. I genuinely appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I told him that you had to be on here, man, especially for exactly what we're talking about. So now you're the perfect person to jump in. I didn't mean to hijack the whole situation, Miss Erika, but it was the album that he just dropped is very, to K Banger's point, is very current and very poignant. And the last track that he actually he wrote the night before he put out the project called Tired in response to the recent events. And it's now the lead single, and it's the most poignant and most graphic and telling song that is on the album. And it's dope, and it's just called Tired. So if you haven't heard it yet, please check it out. It's on all platforms, and it's exactly speaking to what we're talking about. and it's really just him saying tired of being tired. I don't know if you want to speak on it more. It's your song so soon. So
Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate it. I'll just quickly say, just to contextualize the entire project, you know, people have been utilizing this quarantine for many different reasons. And just for background, I'm born and raised in New York. I've spent all 30, almost 8 years of my life here. And so and I live, you know, to be very specific, I live in Manhattan. And so it's very interesting.
Oh, you've been seeing action.
Exactly. The cover of the album was taken the photo for the cover was taken a few weeks ago. I took a walk to Times Square because I'm only a 10-minute walk away from Times Square. And I wanted to see what it looked like as New York is on as we speak, we're hours away from the phase 1 of reopening the city and however that's going to look. And so that in itself is interesting, but just looking at the pandemic, I found it to be a very productive time for a lot of reasons. And one of those reasons was, you know, just artistically speaking. And so I was just dabbling, writing music here and there, inspired by things I would see just looking out my window, or if I took a walk to just quickly go to the grocery store and so on and so forth. And a couple of songs came from it. And I had a conversation with Virtue. So I you know, as much as I am thankful to my higher powers for giving me the tools to create this project, I also am very thankful for Virtue because it was our conversation a few Saturdays ago where he said to me, look, you got to get ahead of this thing. You don't want to come out months later with a project and look like one of those artists who was putting music out because you saw everybody else doing it. So if you already have inspiration, you might as well push to get it out. And so I figured out some resources. I'm not a trained engineer. I've been rapping long enough and been in enough sessions to have picked up enough tools to figure out what I needed to figure out to get this done. But that in itself was a task of just like recording and mixing the project on my own for the first time ever. And just, you know, bringing this whole conversation full circle to the last song that Eric just talked about. The 6 songs that I had written in preparation for last Friday's release, because the project is 9 days old as of today. That wasn't on my mind until I woke up the day before, which was a Thursday. I was planning to do the final mixes and touch-ups for some of the songs. And I was just like going through my Instagram and Twitter feeds and just seeing so many things as the protests were just starting to pick up. And what do you call it? It just hit me. And I just, the words came to me almost instantly. I wrote the song in an hour. That's record time for me because I'm not a fast writer. And I recorded it the same day and mixed it the same day. And so it was very much a last minute addition to the project. And I think it's really important because the other 6 songs are basically about the quarantine. And there are discussions in there of the ways in which it's disproportionately impacted Black folks. But as far as Tired in particular, it just felt necessary to do a song that spoke specifically to what's happening currently, especially after I think everybody's saying, media saying that everybody's saying it's not that George Floyd was the only thing that's happened, but it's the kind of straw that broke the camel's back, if you will. So, and I felt like really emotionally attached to that. And so that was my response to my song Tired was the response to what I was feeling in that moment.
You said you actually cried after you wrote it, right? After you recorded it, you said you actually literally cried tears.
I cried 3 times. I cried when I was trying to record it. I cried when I sat with my partner and let her listen to it for the first time. And I cried when I was sharing the words with my therapist. So yeah, and I've written music that has brought me to tears, but not anything that's this personal. So it's definitely a unique experience.
Hey, so soon. Make sure to let the people know. Go ahead and let the people know where they can go ahead and find this project.
Yeah, absolutely. So the entire project, Sony Pandemic, Sony Quarantine. Sony is an acronym for Sound of New York. So the Sony Quarantine project can be found at sosoon.bandcamp.com and on SoundCloud. You can purchase on Bandcamp for $10.50 and listen, or you can just listen to it on SoundCloud. The single Tired is available on all the major digital streaming platforms: Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon, all that good stuff.
All right, young lady. Everybody good? They say speak now or forever hold your peace, you know.
Oh yeah, is this a rap?
Oh gosh, I don't remember your name, but it's Eric, right? Eric? Yeah, how do we find you? Tell us what you got going on, any new projects, tell us how to find you. Oh, you talking when you're muted. You gotta unmute yourself.
Oh, yeah, there you go. My fault. Yeah, no, I've been producing my ass off recently, especially since I've always done beats with for and with So Soon for years, but this quarantine has reignited all of our creative juices. Myself, I know K Banger when we talked, So Soon as well, and we're all it's like we're in tune with our chakras, and right now we've elevated to a point where my production is in tune with the times. Me and So Soon are I did 3 joints on this project, and hopefully we're working on some more stuff in the future. Of course, I'm always sending him stuff, and me and K Bang are actively working on this project right now, and I'm sending him 3-4 joints a day now. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm firing them off like crazy. So we got a lot to work with. I'm covering, a lot of BPMs. We got slow, fast, old school, new school, trap joints, boom bap, jazz. Just a great vibe, a great feel. So if you want to check for me on Instagram, my Instagram hold is PROD_King_Virtue. That's where you'll find me out on Instagram. But my SoundCloud, King Virtue, is where you're gonna find all my beats that I produce. And at this point, I'm looking at least 60 or 70 that are on there, and I'm probably gonna upload another 30 or 40 in the next week or so. So there's plenty to choose from.
Yeah, and summary of this big message too, with the whole thing with quarantine, whether it's quarantine, riots, everything that's going on around you, you can get shut down by the drama and the chaos around you, or you can use that to motivate you to move forward. Because I've said it before, this is not the reason to stop writing. It's not the time to stop doing your music. It's not your time to duck with your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. This is the time to get up and get busy, because now more than ever, it's time to get your money right, get your business right, use this time wisely while you're not outside moving around to get yourself ready, because it's not over yet. We got plenty of stuff to do, and don't have this waiting for the world to end attitude. It's not over. And this is the time to create or dissipate, because this is where the gap between the have and the have not is about to grow. If you're trying to get out of your daily activities and you're not, functioning on that higher level, trying to take yourself further at this point, then you can consider yourself going even farther behind. And I don't know if So Soon, did you have something you wanted to say? Because it looked like you raised your hand. You would have to unmute yourself, but this isn't the time to roll over now. It's not the time to duck. It's time to get moving.
That's right.
I pressed the wrong emoji. My apologies. I was just +1ing what you were saying. That's like literally the mindset that I went into with the project and with the quarantine in general, was that like, this is an opportunity to figure out how to not be working for somebody else. Like, I've been on unemployment since August and I'm financially stable, so I'm okay. But that's been heavy on my mind, as well as just being, continuing to be a productive artist and even taking that to the next level. So I apologize. I was really just wanting to +1 everything you said.
Yes, it's time. And I know I do financial services, and I'm always looking for more people to spread the word. 50-50, let's split some checks. Let's make some money. Let's teach some people how to build wealth, how to build a legacy, how to get their stuff in order, so that, you know, the next time something happens like this where you can't work, you're not bothered. You got an emergency fund. You got something in case you get injured. If something were to happen to you, that you have something to leave behind for your family. So get with me. Let's talk. And we'll say goodnight to everybody. And I thoroughly enjoyed your conversations, and I'm glad to be here to talk with you. And let's talk again soon.
Appreciate you.
First Lady at firstlady.com. All that. Bye.
Appreciate you.